Hi, I am Zora Scary, or Zora for short. Today I want to talk about how D&D helped me realize that I am trans. I have been playing D&D for around 8 years now, and finally came out as trans femme to myself almost 2 years ago. Some of my D&D characters were very helpful when coming to terms with my own gender identity, and this is the story that I want to share. Around 8 years ago, my friends and I wanted to try out D&D together for the first time. None of us had any previous experience, so we were all diving into this adventure blind. One of my friends volunteered to be the DM for the Mines of Phandelver. So it came to creating my first D&D character, which turned out to be a human monk. I did not prepare much backstory or personality due to this being the first time of me making a character to roleplay with. The first couple of sessions were very confusing but fun. By the third session, though, I was getting quite bored of my character. He turned out to be rather bland, and I couldn't do as much as I wanted to do. Our DM was also struggling at the time to keep up with all the rules and staying invested within the story. Shortly afterwards, we dropped the campaign and left it at that. Luckily, though, a friend of mine decided to DM a Curse of Strahd campaign while we were off on holiday in Sweden. For this campaign, I tried to learn from my previous mistakes when creating a new character, and coincidentally, this was also the first time I would experiment with gender within D&D. I played a female drow rogue who was extremely edgy. I heavily leaned into the typical orphaned rogue archetype and kind of went from there. I really enjoyed playing as her, and from there I also realized that for future characters I could also play around with gender as I did with her. Overall, we had so much fun with Curse of Strahd, which probably was also the final push that we needed to get permanently hooked on D&D. If you haven't played Curse of Strahd, try and find a chance to play it. It should be available online, and after all this time, with also many other releases from Wizards, it's still my favorite pre-made module by Wizards. Talking about the Curse of Strahd, here's a small side note. Here to my right is the handsome, powerful, and very, very charming Strahd van Sarovic. Oh, and also did I mention he's a vampire, which also makes him statistically 10 times hotter? Well, when our party first encountered him, my thought and also my character's thought was initially, hey, either I can fix him or we could just rule together as the hottest power couple ever. Well, later through DMing the module myself and then through TikTok, I heard that my reaction to Strahd is very common amongst a lot of women who have played the Curse of Strahd. Seriously, Wizards, you should have play tested with at least a couple of women in the room. Finding this out last year during my transition has been a good source of validation and gender euphoria. After that campaign, I kind of got stuck as the forever DM for a couple of years, but luckily for me, at least, I had regular opportunities where I could play as a character either for one-shots or shorter campaigns. I kept on playing with gender when creating new characters, and through that a trend slowly started to emerge. After a while I noticed how I was having more fun playing as a woman than when I was playing as a male or non-binary character. I would still try and play the male characters regularly, kind of to avoid suspicion and also so I can tell myself, still cis though. Yeah, well, the denial also gets quite a bit worse. See, later on, when also playing female characters that I play today partially, I started going towards the DM and ask if we could explore certain themes such as misogyny or having to fight against the patriarchy. This all in a closed environment and trying to be respectful, but at the same time, so I can also try and experience what we women go through. Additionally, with my final character before my egg actually did start to crack, I heavily try to lean into being the party's mum. I looking after everyone and also protecting them and trying to be a source of guidance. Yeah, I know I can be thick at times, and I'm not just talking about my butt here. Well, to wrap this all up, or also to summarize my experiences, I would like to first emphasize this has been my experience, and everyone's different. Playing a character of a different gender does not automatically make you trans. I have a couple of cis friends who have played characters with different genders to their own, and they are as cis as it gets. In general, my approach to D&D has been for a while now to, most importantly, have fun, but also to use this opportunity, this world, to explore some topics and interests and self-discovery of mine that I'm working with currently. For example, with the Tiefling Druid, I'm currently exploring witchcraft in a magical setting, which has slowly started to translate over into real life. In another campaign, I am learning what it is to no longer be asexual through a princess bard. Yes, a bard, kind of a stereotype for allosexuals, but yeah, it has been very fun flirting with other characters and finding out what sexual attraction can mean for me. In general, I think D&D can be therapeutic and can also help with digesting certain topics as long as everyone at the table is comfortable. I am not saying though it's a substitute for therapy. Yes, I'm looking at you. Go and see a specialist. Therapy is good for you. Can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah, anyways, back to the topic of the video and gender. I truly think that you can explore your gender through D&D if you wish so. For one, it creates an environment where you could experiment with pronouns without having to out yourself either to yourself or to your friends. You can get used to a certain pronoun that you are thinking that could be maybe me for the future. It also allows you to comfortably envision yourself as someone of a different gender while acting. It may just be fun, it may just be an intriguing roleplay challenge, or you might find something out about yourself. When you do experiment with gender, please be safe. Sadly, we live in bad times when it comes to these topics, as a lot of people are not open and very close-minded when it comes to gender. Try and make sure that the table that you're playing at can be respectful, or if possible, ideally, play with a group of friends that you trust. That doesn't always work. Heck, I've had 1 or 2 negative experiences within friend groups, and I still trust them though. Those experiences that I've had, I might share maybe later at a different time in a different video. If you want to avoid any questions though, here I've compiled a couple or come up with a couple of excuses which you could use for why you are not playing a character with the same gender as your assigned gender at birth. Some of them I have even used in the past to lie to myself. These excuses are from my perspective as a trans femme, so adjust when needed, as most of these excuses can be applied for any gender with only slight adjustments. I hope this video at least inspires someone to try something out or something different at their table, or maybe I could help someone by sharing my experiences. I would be excited to hear your opinions and experiences in the comments. If you liked the content, please let me know, and please subscribe to me here on YouTube. I have a couple of videos planned centered either on D&D or also trans stuff. You can also find me streaming on Twitch about a variety of games. I'm still working on finding a regular schedule due to also personal life and also finding time in between D&D sessions, so pretty busy. On Blue Sky, I post when I'm live on Twitch and if there's any new content. And also just general ship posting. So if that tickles your fancy, enjoy. Well, see you another time.